The revolutionary power of self love, transforming your life and the world. Welcome to the Black CEO podcast. Today, we're diving into a transformative conversation that has the power to reshape our understanding of self love and personal growth. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Neshawn Nelson, a remarkable individual whose insights and wisdom have left an indelible mark on my perspective. Neshawn's impact on making the world a better place is truly awe inspiring, and I'm thrilled to share the invaluable lessons I gleaned from our discussion. Have you ever paused to consider why loving yourself seems so challenging in a world that constantly demands more from us? Why do we often relegate ourselves to the bottom of our priority list, even when we intuitively understand that self love is the foundation for everything else in our lives? Let's begin with a thought provoking question. What if I told you that the key to unlocking your full potential, achieving your wildest dreams, and making a lasting impact on the world around you is something you possessed all along? Something so deceptively simple, yet so profound that it has the power to revolutionize every facet of your existence. That key, my friends, is self love, but not just any run of the mill, surface level self love. We're talking about a radical, unapologetic, fiercely protective love for yourself that forms the bedrock of everything you do and everything you are. Now, I can almost hear the collective eye roll. Self love, really? Isn't that just another buzzword we see plastered all over Instagram, right next to pictures of acai bowls and yoga poses? Trust me, I get it. I used to be just as skeptical. But after my enlightening conversation with Neshawn Nelson, I've come to understand that true self love is so much more than a hashtag or a trendy concept. It's a revolutionary act of self preservation and empowerment that has the potential to change not just your life, but the entire world. Neshawn shared a powerful insight that struck me to my very core. He said, "You have to love yourself first. It's not selfish, it's necessary." Let that sink in for a moment. How many times have you pushed your own needs to the back burner, thinking you were being selfless or noble? How often have you sacrificed your own well being for the sake of others, only to find yourself depleted, resentful, and unable to give your best? This idea of putting ourselves first goes against everything we've been conditioned to believe. Society often tells us that self sacrifice is virtuous, that putting others before ourselves is the hallmark of a good person. But what if we've had it all backward? What if, by neglecting ourselves, we're actually diminishing our capacity to truly help and impact others? Nishawn's words reminded me of those safety instructions we hear on airplanes, the ones we usually tune out while we're trying to cram our oversized carry on into the overhead compartment. In case of an emergency, put your own oxygen mask on first before assisting others. It's not because you're selfish, it's because you can't help anyone if you're passed out from lack of oxygen. The same principle applies to our lives on terra firma. But here's the kicker: loving yourself isn't always a walk in the park. In fact, it can be downright challenging in a world that often seems designed to make us doubt ourselves at every turn. We're bombarded with messages about how we're not enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough, not insert whatever adjective you want enough. It's no wonder so many of us struggle with self love. That's where Nishawn's second powerful insight comes in. He emphasized the critical importance of protecting our minds. In his words, we must love ourselves and protect our minds. This isn't just about positive thinking or reciting affirmations in the mirror, although those can be helpful. It's about actively guarding our mental space against negativity, self doubt, and harmful influences. Think of your mind as a garden. Self love is the nutrient rich soil that allows beautiful things to grow. But even the most fertile soil can be overrun by weeds if we're not vigilant. Those weeds are the negative thoughts, the self criticism, the constant comparison to others that can choke out our self love if we let them run wild. So, how do we protect our minds? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that run through your head. Are they nurturing or destructive? Are they helping you grow or holding you back? Once you're aware, you can start to weed out the negative thoughts and replace them with more positive, empowering ones. But it's not just about our own thoughts. We also need to be mindful of the external influences we allow into our mental space. This might mean setting boundaries with negative people, yes, even if they're family, curating our social media feed to include more uplifting content, or being selective about the information we consume. It's about creating a mental environment that fosters self love rather than self doubt. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how does it apply to the real world? How does loving yourself first actually make a tangible difference? Let me share a powerful example from my own nonprofit organization, Keep Fighting. Our mission is to encourage people, to help them find the strength to keep going even when life gets tough. But here's the thing, I couldn't do this work effectively if I didn't practice what I preach. There was a time when I was pouring everything into the organization, working around the clock, neglecting my own needs in the process. I thought I was being dedicated, but in reality, I was burning out faster than a candle with two wicks. My ability to truly help others was diminishing because I wasn't taking care of myself. It was only when I started prioritizing self love and protecting my own mental health that I saw a dramatic shift. Not only did I feel better, but the impact of our organization grew exponentially. Why? Because when you love yourself, when you're operating from a place of fullness rather than depletion, you have so much more to give to others. This brings me to another crucial point Neshawn emphasized the importance of doing what you love. He said, I love what I do. And that, my friends, is the secret sauce. When you combine self love with a passion for your work, you become an unstoppable force of nature. Think about it. When you love yourself, you trust your instincts. You're more likely to pursue the things that truly light you up inside. And when you're doing work that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like work at all. It becomes a joyful expression of who you are. But here's the catch, to truly do what you love, you have to know yourself. You have to be in tune with your passions, your strengths, and yes, even your weaknesses. And that level of self awareness only comes from a place of self love and self acceptance. Now, I want to be crystal clear. Loving yourself doesn't mean you become complacent or stop striving for growth. On the contrary, true self love pushes you to become the best version of yourself. It's about accepting who you are right now while also believing in your potential to evolve and improve. This brings us to another vital aspect of self love that Neshawn touched on, the importance of being firm with yourself. Self love isn't always about bubble baths and positive affirmations. Sometimes it's about tough love. It's about setting high standards for yourself and holding yourself accountable. Being firm with yourself means not letting yourself off the hook when you know you can do better. It means pushing through discomfort to achieve your goals. It means making hard choices that align with your values, even when it's not easy. But here's the beautiful paradox when you love yourself enough to be firm, to hold yourself to high standards, you actually build more self love. You prove to yourself that you're capable, that you can rise to challenges, that you're worthy of greatness. Now, I want to address something that might be on some of your minds. You might be thinking, this all sounds great for people who already have a strong sense of self worth. But what about those of us who struggle with self love? What if we don't know where to start? First of all, I want you to know that you're not alone. Many of us struggle with self love, especially in a world that often seems designed to make us doubt ourselves. But here's the good news. Self-love is a skill. Like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and improved over time. Start small. Begin each day by acknowledging one thing you like about yourself. It could be a physical attribute, a personality trait, or an accomplishment. As you do this consistently, you'll find that it becomes easier to recognize your own worth. Next, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a good friend. When you make a mistake or face a setback, don't berate yourself. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Another powerful practice is gratitude. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, including the unique qualities that make you who you are. Gratitude has a way of shifting our focus from what we lack to the abundance that already exists in our lives. Remember, self love is not about being perfect, it's about embracing your whole self, flaws, quirks, and all. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of love and respect simply because you exist. As we near the end of our time together, I want to circle back to something Neshawn said that really resonated with me. He emphasized the importance of protecting our minds. In today's world, where we're constantly bombarded with information and opinions, this is more crucial than ever. Protecting your mind means being intentional about what you allow into your mental space. It means setting boundaries with people or situations that drain your energy or undermine your self worth. It means curating your social media feeds choosing uplifting content, and sometimes it means knowing when to disconnect and give your mind a rest. But protecting your mind isn't just about defense, it's also about actively filling your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. Read books that inspire you, listen to podcasts that challenge you to grow. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and support your dreams. Now, I want to share a powerful story that illustrates the transformative power of self love. Meet Sarah, a woman who struggled with self doubt and low self esteem for years. She was constantly comparing herself to others, always feeling like she fell short. This negative self perception affected every aspect of her life, her relationships, her career, even her health. One day, Sarah decided to make a change. She started small, just like we discussed earlier. Every morning, she would look in the mirror and say one kind thing to herself. At first, it felt awkward and forced, but she persisted. Gradually, Sarah noticed a shift. She started standing up for herself more at work. She began pursuing hobbies she had always been interested in, but never felt good enough to try. She even ended a toxic relationship that had been draining her for years. The most remarkable change, however, was in her career. Sarah had always dreamed of starting her own business, but fear and self doubt had held her back. As her self love grew, so did her confidence. She finally took the leap and started her own company. Today, Sarah's business is thriving, but more importantly, Sarah is thriving. She is happier, healthier, and more fulfilled than she's ever been. And the ripple effect of her transformation has touched countless lives, her employees, her clients, her family, and friends. Sarah's story is a powerful reminder of what's possible when we embrace self love. It's not just about feeling good about ourselves, although that's certainly important. It's about unleashing our full potential and making a positive impact on the world around us. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, I want you to make self love a priority. Start each day by looking in the mirror and saying, I love you to yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but stick with it. Notice how it begins to shift your perspective and your actions throughout the day. Additionally, I want you to pay attention to the thoughts you allow to take up residence in your mind. When you catch yourself in negative self talk, pause, take a deep breath, and then replace that thought with a more loving, empowering one. Remember, this journey of self love isn't always easy. There will be days when you struggle, when old habits of self doubt creep back in, but don't give up. Keep fighting for yourself, for your dreams, for the impact you want to make in the world. Because here's the truth: when you love yourself fiercely and protect your mind diligently, you become a force of nature. You become resilient in the face of challenges. You become magnetic, attracting opportunities and relationships that align with your highest good. And most importantly, you become a beacon of light for others, showing them what's possible when we embrace the power of self love. So I leave you with this question: what would your life look like if you loved yourself unconditionally? How would it change the way you show up in your relationships, in your work, in your community? How would it amplify your ability to make a positive impact on the world? The journey of self love starts with a single step, and that step is a choice to value yourself, to prioritize your well being, to believe in your worth. Will you make that choice today? Imagine a world where everyone made this choice, a world where self love was the norm, not the exception. How would that change our families, our communities, our societies? How would it impact the way we treat each other, the way we solve problems, the way we face global challenges? This isn't just about personal transformation, it's about global transformation. Because when we love ourselves, we're better equipped to love others. When we value ourselves, we're more likely to value and protect our planet. When we believe in our own worth, we're more likely to stand up for the worth and dignity of all human beings. So I challenge you, no, I dare you to embark on this journey of radical self love. It won't always be easy. There will be days when you falter, when old habits creep back in. But remember, every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Start today, right now. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am worthy of love, especially my own. Feel the power of those words. Let them sink into your bones and then take action. Set boundaries that protect your mental and emotional well being. Pursue that dream you've been putting off. Speak up for yourself. Take care of your body. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Remember, you are not just changing your own life, you are changing the world. Every act of self love sends ripples of positivity into the universe. You are creating a new paradigm, one where self love is recognized as the foundation for all positive change. So go forth and love yourself fiercely, unapologetically, radically. The world needs you, the real you, the authentic you, the you that emerges when you embrace your own worth. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Keep loving, keep growing, and above all, keep fighting for the magnificent person you are meant to be. The revolution of self love starts with you. Are you ready to change the world?